Hello everyone, this is Arui and welcome back to this tutorial. Today I'll teach you what is perceptron and how to train perceptron algorithm, what is loss function, how to implement loss function, then we'll discuss what is weight and why we need weights and how to update weights. These are the topics which I'm going to cover in my today's class. So let's begin. So first of all, perceptron. So guys, perceptron is simplest type of neural network. It only has single neuron in the network. So you can see over here, this is a single neuron, right? So this single neuron is known as perceptron algorithm, right? And perceptron is used for two class classification, means for binary classification. When you have two classes in your data set, right, and you want to classify your data in each of the one class, right? So for binary classification you can use perceptron. Okay, perceptron is an algorithm and it has one neuron, and that one neuron is responsible for performing classification on two class classification problem. All right, so you can see over here, see this image. So these are the data points. Okay, suppose we have 6 data points in our data set. 3 smileys are sad smileys and 3 happy smileys we have in our data set. Now what we want is we want to perform classification on this data set which has 6 different data points, right? And it has only 2 classes, and as I've just told you, perceptron is used for 2 class classification problems. So now let's see how it will work, right? See the second image. So we have a line over here and this line is classifying these two classes. But if you'll see over here, this happy smiley is misclassified and one sad smiley is misclassified. Okay, so that means how many data points are misclassified over here? 2 data points. So error is 2. Error 2 simply means 2 data points are wrongly classified. Now we have shifted this line a little bit. Now if you'll see in this image, we have only one sad smiley got misclassified and rest of the data points are correctly classified. So the error over here is 1. Why error is 1? Because one sad smiley is wrongly classified. Okay, and then we shifted this line little bit more. After that we are getting this line over here. Now you can see all the happy smileys are in single class and all the sad smileys are in another class, right? So we have classified our data correctly over here. For these kinds of problem we can use this perceptron, right? So perceptron is used to classify linearly separable inputs. All right, and I have just shown you the architecture of perceptron. This is the architecture of perceptron. X1, X2, X3 are the 3 inputs. We are providing these inputs to our perceptron, a network. W1, W2, W3 are the 3 weights associated with these 3 inputs. And guys, in my previous class I've told you, like, I hadn't taught you this weights concept in the previous class, and I've told you, like, in my today's class I'll be covering these topics. So today I'll tell you why we are using these weights and what is the importance of using weights. Okay, in next few slides I'll teach you that as well. So input and weight, input and weight, input and the associated weights, these things are going to summation function. Summation function will add all the inputs and the output of summation function will become the input to activation function. And in my previous class I have already taught you various activation functions. You can decide the activation function as per your requirement, right? And it will finally give us the output. Output is y. Okay, Okay, let's see further. Now, the thing is how to train a perceptron. See, in machine learning also, whenever you want to use any algorithm, we first of all train our network, train our algorithm. So in the same way, if we want to perform two-class classification with perceptron, then we have to train our algorithm on that as well, right? So, how to train a perceptron? See, training a perceptron simply means finding a line or a hyperplane which correctly classify the two classes. So see this image over here. So in this image we have three different lines. So if I talk about this green line, so this green line is also not classifying properly. This smiley is wrongly classified. And if I talk about this blue line is also not classifying the objects correctly. But this orange line is classifying the objects, classifying the data points correctly. So that means this orange hyperplane or this orange line is the line which is, classifying all the data points correctly, So this is what we need to do. We simply need to find a line which, classify the data points correctly. Okay, so now let's see all the steps one by one how to train a perceptron. Okay, so the very first step is initialize weights. Alright, so what are the weights? These are the weights W1, W2, W3. Whenever you want to start the training process, the very first step is to initialize the weights, right? So initialize weight simply means just assign any random value to weight. For example, I have assigned W1 is equal to 2. So this numeric value 2 is a weight value for W1. That weight value will get multiplied with the X1. Okay. So randomly initialize the weight values. You can write anything 1, 0.1, 2, 3, whatever you think, just write just assign one numeric value to the weights. So for example, I have assigned 2 to W1 and W2, let's suppose 0.1. I'm assigning I'm initializing this W2 with the random value of 0.2. In the same way, just give any random value to W3. So this is the very first step. Now, before moving to the next steps, let me explain you why we need weights, what is the importance of weights, why we are multiplying these weights value with the input values. So let me show you that. Okay, so over here, see weights. Weight simply means, weight is a numeric value and it is used to handle the problem of vanishing gradients or exploding gradients. So guys, if you are not right now familiar with what is vanishing gradient and what is exploding gradients, in my next classes I will have one whole lecture which will explain you properly what is vanishing gradient and what is exploding gradient. Today I'll just give you a brief idea like what is vanishing gradient and what is exploding gradients, because we are assigning weight values, we are using weights because we want to solve the problem of vanishing gradients and exploding gradients. Now let me give you a brief idea what is vanishing gradient and exploding gradient. So see, let's suppose the input which you are giving to your network, this x1, x2 and x3, right? Let's suppose these input values are very small, okay? And you are giving these small values to your network. So what will happen with that? See, when you will give very small values to your network, what will happen is the activation function, the value of this activation function will decrease exponentially. When the input values are very low, at that time the value of this activation function will decrease exponentially. And exploding gradient simply means when the value of these input data points, let's suppose the value of x1, x2 and x3 is very high value. When you give very high values as an input to your network, at that time the activation function will have a very high value. In both the scenarios, your algorithm will take lot of time to get training, right? So to solve this problem, right, to solve the problem of vanishing gradient and to solve the problem of exploding gradients, we use weights. And weights are nothing, they are just random values, random numeric values. We multiply those values with our inputs to according to the situation, we choose those weight values, and we multiply those weight values with our input values in order to solve the problem of vanishing gradient and exploding gradients, right? So guys, as I've just told you, I have a whole lecture on this exploding gradient and vanishing gradient. In that, I'll teach you in more detail like what is it exactly. But for today's class, just understand this. We are using weights because we want to avoid the problem of vanishing gradient and exploding gradient. Why we want to avoid the problem of vanishing gradient and exploding gradient? Because in both the scenarios, your algorithm will take so much time to get trained. Okay, so that's why we use weights. All right guys, so let's go move back to our first step only, initialize weight. So initialize weight simply means assign any random value to the weights. Okay, and the second step is provide input to the networks. So what are the inputs? X1, X2 and X3. These are the inputs to the network. So provide these input to the networks. Third step is calculate the error. Calculate the error simply means when you give this x1 into w1 plus x2 into w2 plus x3 into w3, when you give this to the summation function will perform the will give us the addition of all the inputs. That addition will become the input of activation function, and the output of activation function is this y. All right, now calculating the error simply means to check how much difference is there in between the predicted y value. This is the predicted y value which our perceptron predicted. So this is the predicted y value, and we have one actual y value. So what we want to know is how much difference is there in between the actual y value and the predicted y value. This is what error is, calculating the error is. Okay, so let's understand about error more. See, error, loss function and cost function, these things are similar: error, loss and cost. Okay, so loss function simply means why we need this loss function, why we need this error function. See, the ultimate goal of using this loss function is to to find out how much accurately your algorithm is working, right? So we are using this loss function so that we can tune our model to improve the results, right? On why I'm saying this, why I'm saying like why we this tune the model, because on the basis of that loss function we will change the value of weight and then again we'll perform the training. This is how we tune our network, and by tuning our network we can improve the results of our network. Okay, so let's suppose if you're when you're calculating this error. So let's suppose the error value is high. Error which you have calculated, that value is high. When you will get the higher error value? Higher error value simply means your model is performing very badly, poor. The model performance is very poor. Then only error would be high, right? When the model performance is low, then you will get high error. And when the error is lower value, that means your model is performing well. That's why you are getting lower value as an error. Getting my point, right? Okay, so loss function will tell us whether our algorithm is improving or not. Okay, so let's suppose at initial step your error is 20, and after updating the weights your error is 30. So the previous error is 20, now the recent error is 30. That simply means error increased from 20 to 30, right? That simply means when you updated the weights, that new weight is decreasing the accuracy of your model. All right, so the formula for error, how we can calculate the error. Whenever you want to calculate the error, this is the formula which you have to follow. N is a learning rate. Don't worry about learning rate. In my next class, I'll teach you what is learning rate. D is the actual Y value. Y is the predicted Y value. This Y. Predicted Y value which a perceptron predicted. X is the input. N is a learning rate. Okay. Learning rate, for now, just understand that learning rate is simply means the step, means how fastly or how slowly you want to train your network. We will discuss more about it, but for today's class, just know this much about this learning rate. Okay. So whenever you want to calculate the error, how we can calculate the loss function or error? By knowing the difference between the actual Y value and the predicted Y value and multiplying it with X. So this is the formula for calculating the loss function. Okay. So see, there are lots of different loss functions, right? So we have to decide as per our problem, like which loss function will work, correctly in our case. So you can see like mean square error, right? In machine learning also, we also use these functions, right? RMSE, root mean square error, MSE, these kind of function we use in that also. Same way, in deep learning also, we have loss function. One is MSE, one is binary cross entropy, other one is categorical cross entropy. So when to use mean square error, when to use this loss function? So when you are working on regression problems, right? Let's suppose you are using an algorithm and that algorithm is used for regression task and you want to know how much loss is there, then you can use mean square error loss function. And when to use this binary cross entropy? So let's suppose you're working on two class classification where you have only two classes, binary classification. And whenever your algorithm is working on binary classification and you want to check how much accurately your algorithm is working, then you can use binary cross entropy loss function to know the difference between the actual Y value and the predicted Y value. In the same way, categorical cross entropy is used for multi-class classification. Means when you have multiple classes and you have to classify that the particular particular image belongs to which particular class, then you can use this categorical cross entropy. And how this categorical cross entropy work? It will simply check the probability of each class and find out which class is having the highest probability, right? This is how it works. So what I'm trying to say over here is that there are different loss functions and you have to choose the loss function as per the problem statement. All right. So are you clear about loss function? Loss function tells us how much our actual output and the predicted output varies, and our goal is to reduce the difference between the actual output and the predicted output. And how we can reduce the difference between the actual output and the predicted output? By changing the value of weight. Okay. So initial weight value we decide ourselves, right? But after that you need to keep on changing the weight value, and then after changing the weight value, always check the loss function. That is how you can find out whether your algorithm is improving or not. Okay. So this is what loss function is. Now weights, as I've just told you about weights, right? Now let's talk about weight updation formula. So weight updation simply means, see, okay, consider this image first of all. So what we have done till now is these are the three inputs, and these are the initial weight values which we decide ourselves, right? So let's suppose the initial value I have defined in W1 is 1, and over here let's suppose I have defined 0.3, and the initial weight value which I have defined over here is 0.5. Let's suppose these are the three initial values. So these weight values will get multiplied with their inputs. That means x1 into W1 plus x2 into W2 plus x3 into W3, and all these values will go to the summation function of perceptron. Summation, the task of summation is to add up all the input values. So we are adding all the input values, and then we have activation function, and we'll decide which activation function we want to use over here. And after that we will get the value of y. Now we have the value of y, and we have actual y value with us. Now what we want is, we want to check the loss. We want to check the error. And how we can check the error? By using this formula. Remember, I have explained you this formula a few minutes back only. N is a learning rate, D is the actual y value, and this y is a predicted y value, and into x. So we get the value of y from here, and desired y, this D is desired output, right? The actual output. So the actual output we already have, we'll fill that over here, and predicted output we got from this perceptron network, and we'll apply this formula, and we'll get the loss function. We'll get some value, loss value over here. On the basis of that loss, we will use this formula to update the weight. Which update we want to, weight we want to update? These weights we want to update. Okay, because we initially we have initialized the random values over here, but after those values, on the basis of this loss function which we have received, which we have calculated over here, on the basis of that error, we will update the weight. So let's suppose I want to update the weight value of W1. So what will be the formula for it? W1 simply means the old weight of W1, right? So let's suppose the old weight is 1. So that means 1 over here plus n. The value of n means learning rate. You can define any value over here. So 0.01. Let's suppose I'm using 0.01 over here. D, the desired value, the actual y value we'll get from here. This y, we just calculated this y over here, we got this y over here, and x, the value of this x1, right? When you'll solve this, you'll get one numeric value over here. That value will become the new weight value. Okay, so we have calculated, see, this is the equation. Using this equation, we update the weights in perceptron. Every time whenever you want to update the weight, we use this formula. Okay, and the formula is old weight plus n d minus y x, right? So what you can write, see, if you'll see over here, n d minus y is equal to x. So you can directly, instead of writing this, you can directly write the loss value which you calculated over here. Okay, or you can calculate again over here, or you can directly write the value which you have calculated over here, because this thing is similar to this. Okay, now when we get new weight value, we will fill that weight value over here, and we'll multiply this input with the new weight value. In the same way, we will get new weight values for W2 and W3 also, and we'll repeat the process again. Means x1 into new W1, x2 into new W2, x3 into new W3, and we'll sum all the values. We'll calculate the activation function, and we will again calculate the loss function. And this time, the value of loss function which you get this time, you will know if that value is lesser than the previous loss function. That means your model is improving. And if this value is greater than the previous loss function which you have calculated with the initial weight values, that means your model is not improving. Right? And on the basis of that, you will choose the new weight value again using this formula. using this equation, right? This is how this is the weight updation formula. This is how we update the weights, right? And as I've just shown you, these are the steps to train a perceptron. So you are very clear about initializing weight, means randomly initialize the weight values and then provide the input to the network. We are providing input to the network and then calculate the error. Which error? This error. Calculate the error. After calculating the error, they are saying update the weights using this equation. So what we are doing is we are updating the weights using this equation. And after that, after updating the weights, repeat the second and third step, means repeat these steps. What we are repeating over here is, again pass these inputs and new weights to your perceptron, again calculate the loss function and then update the weights, and again after that, after updating the weights, give those new weights over, assign those new weights over here, and again provide the input to the network and perform the functionality till you get the results, desired results. Okay, so this is how you train a perceptron. These are the steps of training a perceptron. Okay, now let's see the practical example.